Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creating Your Career with Marla J. Williams. This is episode 3, as I am always excited. I have with me today my personal coach. Remember I told you guys a coach has to have a coach? Well, I am excited today because I have my coach today, Miss Cres Lake. Go ahead and speak to everybody, Cres.
Hi, nice to see everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So as you guys know, I go ahead and I jump into the bio. I'm going to read her bio to you. So give you a little bit of background. And then I'll give a brief description as to how me and Cres met. So it's awesome. So let's go ahead and talk about her background and see what Miss Cres is about. So excited. So again, as you guys know, I read directly from what person gives me. So Cres's mission in life is coaching, and her passions are enhancing lives, writing, and learning. But most of all, which I found to be very interesting, is that she is a life hacker. So what is a life hacker? So if you're not familiar with that term, a life hacker is someone who has specific skills and knowledge on shortcuts. So basically, we all can be a life hacker potentially. The methods to accomplish what one wants to accomplish in their own life. According to Wikipedia, so we'll give props to wikipedia.org, life hacking refers to any trick, shortcut, skill, or novelty method that increases productivity, efficiency in all walks of life. So I love that. So here's a brief background of her story. Her life story is just like anyone else's. All throughout her whole entire life, she's had hardships, but why dwell on the past? She says we don't want to speak about the past because really right now it's irrelevant, which I totally agree. She found that she was stuck in crap and had all this crap in her head. And she's like, that IT term, garbage in, garbage out. Yes, I heard about that. Well, she had a lot of garbage in and she wanted to continually to grow. So she's like, you know what? I have this garbage. I'm not getting anywhere. So I got to move forward. And it was Einstein that said that the definition of insanity is what? I think we know, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you're expecting different results, and that's not going to happen. Okay, so one day she woke up and realized I have all this knowledge, I have all this experience, and I have all this education available to me. So she decided to reprogram herself. I love this. I love this. It was simple as that. She learned how to hack into her own system, her personality, her perspectives, her life, her career, her family, her attitude, her story. And she put her story in caps and bold. She basically rewrote her program. She figured out how to overlay the new program onto the old. I'm telling you, Cres, I am so in love with that. I am so in love with the fact that you reprogrammed yourself. And I think that's what we're all doing. I know I'm doing that. I'm so in love with that. And she hasn't looked back since. So through many years of training and her wonderful clients of 20 plus years, so she's been doing this a while, guys, her technology, personal trials and errors, and much more, she will work with you to determine your story, your path forward, not backwards, and assist you through the hurdles to get you what you want no matter what. Oh my gosh, that bio was beautiful. I love it. You know how I love organic. It was a beautiful organic bio. So how did Cres and I meet? So great question. So I was looking for a coach myself. I forgot how I found out about newme.com, but I found out about this website that matches coaches. And long story short, I met Cres through through the Newme website for coaching. And lo and behold, that's been like a year or maybe like a year and a half. It's been some time. It's been some time. And she's still my coach. She's still here in my life. And I'm so excited. So super excited. So let's jump right in, Cres, because, you know, I don't talk the whole time. I want the world to hear what Cres is about. So tell us a little bit about you, your background, where you're from, and brief history up until now.
I'm from the Houston area. My career and professional life has been, as probably a lot of individuals can relate to, a very difficult journey. You can go into the specifics. I choose not to because it is irrelevant. But they were all, for me, they were all lessons learned. And I'm a big advocate kind of going off on a tangent, I have experience and knowledge throughout my years that every individual, each of us has a specific journey. All right. No two are alike, just as no two snowflakes are alike.
Right.
And though there may be ups and downs on that journey, every person must go through them because those are lessons they need to learn. So if you go back to my history and everything, I've had a lot of hardships. I've had a lot of blessings too. And all of that slowly developed me into the person I am today. Brief history on my career. I would say my significant part of my journey started when I worked for a psychological firm. And I worked for them for 13 years, learned a lot. I also was there during the period where the transition between the old psychological theories into the new positive psychology came in. So it was very good and beneficial for me to see that transition and that mindset. Then I went, it's another long story, but I actually was requested by the psychological firm and expert witnesses that I was working with to become a hypnotherapist. And so that's where I was significantly trained in hypnosis, how the mind works, how the mind creates its own reality, and of a almost a veil to what is really true going on in our daily lives. And so I started working with clients for hypnosis, but then it came back to that journey. And people would not get better unless they were, I'm not trying to extend this long period of time, but if people didn't go through those hardships, if people didn't learn those lessons that they needed to learn as part of their journey, they didn't get to a point where hypnosis even would help them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I started studying more and I started researching more how to help my clients, how to help them. And I would say that one of the significant things is, and I'll try to convey this correctly, is a lot of people will go to a doctor. This is the example I'll give. And they'll say, the doctor healed me. Well, you have to really think about that. The doctor doesn't heal you. The doctor gives your body medicine or sets that bone or whatever you want to, use as a tool. But then your body heals yourself. And I found that was the same thing. If I gave my clients the tools or pointed the signposts in their life, in other words, unfortunately, you're going to have to go through this hardship, but there's a lesson there to learn. They did actually start healing themselves. And so, I mean, I can go on and on, but all of that continually assisted me in reaching out for more knowledge, more education, more experience, working more in depth with my clients on what works and what doesn't work. And all of that molded me to where I am today. That's a long answer to a short question.
No, you're great. Remember, I told you that this is what I want for the audience. This is a organic learning talk show. We're learning how to create our career. So all of that is necessary. So I love it. And I love how you touched on the hypnosis piece. So I would love you to touch on that a little bit more and kind of go into some more of that, because that leads right into question number 2. What is your current career field? What are you doing right now? Is it the hypnosis? I know we talked about meditation, so I really want you to elaborate on that a little bit more. But what are you doing right now in your coaching career? What is your niche or niche, whatever people say?
So I'm still a life coach. And let me clarify this a little bit or carve it out. So I'm a life coach for a lot of the baby boomers. Okay. And that is due to how we were all raised. But we have new generations coming in that are brilliant young people, and they don't want to be told what to do. They want to do it themselves. So I'm a life coach and I'm a life hacker. So for the baby boomers, it's the coaching, all right? For the younger individuals, it's the hacking. In other words, try this trick, okay? And that works really great for them. Going back on, I also utilize a tool of meditation. And science has now, especially in the last 12 years, the research is just dumbfounding on mastering the mind, learning, using the mind as a tool, as a muscle, instead of it just, they call it monkey mind, running around like a monkey. Okay. But to correlate the hypnosis to meditation, let me present you a question. It's rhetorical, and then I'll answer it. But what is the difference between hypnosis, self-hypnosis, and meditation? Okay? So if you think about it, hypnosis is someone who knows the tricks to bypass the conscious mind to get to the subconscious. Self-hypnosis is you learn the tricks to bypass the conscious mind to get to the subconscious. And meditation, no tricks are needed. You have the skill to go straight to the subconscious mind. Okay? So with that information, why do hypnosis? It doesn't really empower the individual. It's better to have them train their own mind and learn that skill so that they can change or hack their life whatever way they choose. And so a lot of people, when I'm working with them, they'll like, well, I don't know where to start. I said, that's perfect. You've got a blank canvas. Please put on that canvas whatever you want. And they're like, well, what if it's wrong? Who cares? It's your journey. It's your life. Start. So to answer your question, I am many things. I am a life coach, I'm a life hacker, and I'm a meditation advisor.
Okay. Wow. So that was jam-packed, and I know we're only a 30-minute show, but oh my God, that was amazing. And I'm learning more and more about meditation. People have been talking about it for a while, like, Marla, you should really try meditation. I'm like, whatever. So again, I'm a researcher, so I have to research stuff on my own. People will introduce things to me, and it'll take me a minute to pick it up, but once I do pick it up and read it, I do get interested in certain things. So now I'm interested in the meditation piece. I've actually started doing it myself and learning a little bit more about the hypnosis as well. And it is fascinating how, like you said earlier in your bio, we talked about it, how you can reprogram your mind. You don't need, like you said, the doctor can't heal you. I love when you said that. The doctor cannot heal you. Your thinking, your mindset, you have to, I think it kind of goes back, and I can go off on a tangent too, but I think it kind of goes back to believing in yourself and knowing who you are. And I could spend hours on that, but I'm not. So, but I think that's where it kind of goes back to just starting to say, okay, wait a minute, I can do this. I believe in myself. And then pausing your mind. So, speaking of that, so we're talking about paths on your career, and I'm into question number 3 is, so speaking of the meditation, hypnosis, what path did you take to get to your career? And how would you say you're creating your own career? Because you said that you started off with hypnosis, and now you're a life coach for the baby boomers, which I thought that's so cute. Then for the millennials, right? The folks who won't do everything your way, they're going to do it their way, which is fine. And you're a life hacker for them. And then you're the meditation coach. So that sounds like a creation of something. So tell us, how did you create all of that together to make a career that you're currently moving forward in?
So, I did not, let me preface everything where I did not choose this career. This career honestly chose me.
Mm.
And also too, I will add to that statement though, I did fight that path. But going back on meditation and believing in your statement about believing in yourself and knowing yourself, when you start mastering your own mind and using that muscle as a tool, you start learning more about who you are deep in your core. And I am a very big advocate that I am how do I say it? I am my deepest desire. And so when I start with a client, or even when I started recreating myself, okay, I reached into my heart and soul and said, what do you want? Me being Cres, what did you want at the end of your days to say you did? Okay, or what is my deepest desire? And
Wow.
then in perspective of creating it, I realized that I have such a love for people. I have a love for empowering people, teaching. I would see myself more as a teacher than a healer or a maternal role. Okay. When I have someone who is open to knowledge, open to a different perspective, and they may or may not use it, but at least they're open to learning it, I get extremely passionate and excited. But I found out that comes from my true self, and that's where I want to help people doing that. So does that kind of answer your question? My career picked me, but it by reaching into myself, I found out what I needed to do.
Oh my God. So I have to elaborate on everything. So that particular phrase you just said, a few things. You said your path chose you, which is that how it normally happens. I mean, that's how you create. You're creating it because different things are coming your way. So you're picking different avenues you want to go, and you just it kind of fell into your lap. So I love that. But you said something that was profound. That was like mind boggling. You said, I am my deepest desire. Wow. How many people how many people in the audience do you believe that? We have our deepest desires. Oh, I desire to do this and I desire to travel the world and but you have to be your deepest desire. I always say confidence is extra super sexy, right? So I think your desire has to lie within whatever that is within yourself, and that confidence and that knowing yourself and loving yourself, all that has to be in there. And I had to learn that. I had to relearn that. I'm still relearning that, but I've come a very long way. You know that. Come a very long way. But I know that now. I know my confidence levels. I know who I am. I am very excited with who I am. And that was so beautiful. I am my deepest desire. Yeah, I desire other things. Of course, I'm human. But I am my deepest desire. I am looking within myself. Cres, you just did a mind blower right there. Seriously, you just did a mind. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm blown away. Go ahead.
By using your mind, meditation, there's multiple ways of strengthening the mind. Meditation is probably the easiest tool. Okay. And a lot of people will disagree. And if
Right.
you disagree, you're not using the type of meditation that fits your nature. I can tell you that. But meditation as a tool will tell you your true self, will tell you your deepest desire. And once you have that, okay, then you can start laying out whatever path in whatever area of your life you want. And then because you're following your deepest desire, you have the confidence, you have the self-assurance, you have the motivation. You'll get up every single morning knowing I'm on the path of doing what I want to do deep in my heart. So it
Wow.
all lines up easily. But all you've got to do is first start.
Mm-hmm. And that has been a common theme throughout my shows. So this is episode number 3, obviously. So episode number 1 with Lily Ma, we talked about starting. Episode number 2 with Faith Joyner, Faith Joyner Counseling, starting. Episode number 3 with Cres Lake, starting. You got to start. You got to start. You don't need, $1 million to start. You don't need anything. You just got to start by believing in yourself. So going into the next question is, so what are the skills? So if I want to become a hypnotist, is it hypnotist? I want to become a hypnotist or meditation therapist. How does someone enter into that field? Because it's a very interesting field, and I am quite interested in it myself. Maybe not as a career field, but later on down the line, obviously, because my graduate degree I'm getting is in psychology, so the study of how people work and behave at work. So I am interested in that. But so how do I get into this field? What are the skills?
Well, so for myself, an education, I'm a huge advocate for education.
Mm-hmm.
But I also am a preacher that nobody teaches you, you teach yourself. And so if you have an interest, if you have a passion, if you have a desire to be something or do something, you will learn, find, it will come to you what you need to do. And let me give a real quick example. I coached a wonderful young man who had a very terrifying youth. And as a result, and it's it's not very common, it's becoming more common, but it's not very common. He had male anorexia. And he was a severe binger, and he was also a severe cutter. And he learned to heal himself. And he used all different types of programs. Whatever he felt was going to help, he started helping himself. Now, did he have the education? No. Did he have psychology or hypnosis or anything under his belt? No. But I will tell you, he had firsthand experience. He'd been through the hard knocks, but he had the determination. He had the resources, and he started coaching young men that had the same problem. Now, what I want to share importance is when he personally made that decision to start, to truly expose himself to the world and reach out to help other people, all of a sudden, his clients showed up out of nowhere. And so from his perspective, he said, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I said, I guess so. I mean, if it's your desire, that's what your heart wants to do. And all of a sudden, those clients start showing up. So my point being is, yes, education's big. Start, if not through, normal educational means, start teaching yourself. This is the age of information. Everything's on the internet, and start using it as a tool. Be reasonable. If something seems extreme, then do your research. But if you're following your desire, you're going to get for yourself what you need. And once again, everybody's journey is different. So what took me from point A to point B to point C is not going to be the same for yourself. And but if you start following that, so for myself, let me just go ahead and answer your question. I started in the psychology field. I became a registered and certified hypnotist. I worked with the HPD, Houston Police Department, and Harris County Sheriff's Department on several of their cases. That career was that path was very, very rewarding. But as I started learning more and more from my clients, what worked, what didn't work, I started reaching out into other modalities. For example, as funny as it may sound to some, I had one client who believed that the only person that would ever heal her, once again, you understand my theory of healing, but from her perspective, what she believed was that the only person that could heal her was a shaman. And I said, okay, let's send you to a shaman. And she said, but I don't trust anybody, Cres, but you. Well, thank you. So I went and became a certified shaman. Okay. But it also taught her that what limitations she set for herself, she could move beyond. Okay.
Right.
So did I benefit from that training? Oh, yes, in a lot of different ways. It helped me understand people from a different perspective, ancient cultures. It did add. But again, going back to my point is my path led me to where I am today. And I was just open to learning new things, growing, and plus our world changes every day. Technology is a great example. So
Mm-hmm.
just keep learning, just don't quit.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I gotta package that up real quick here, but oh my, that was amazing. So where do I begin? So basically, obviously education. Education is key, and it's not necessarily formal education. You know, I'm big on formal education. I'm in school. My friends call me a student for life. I've been in school for the past, I don't know, 20 years. I'm still in school. So so but what we mean by education is, I believe what you mean is educating yourself. Everything's on the internet. Teach yourself. Don't wait for the teacher to sit you in the classroom and you're sitting there and you learn from the teacher. No, open up the book, read. Reading is really fundamental. Reading, it really is. Um, find out what's on the website. Like you said, don't do overkill, because how many self-development books are out there? How many self-help books are out there? Don't drive yourself crazy with it, because it can be overwhelming. You can kind of get so much knowledge you don't know what to do with it. But start some keyword start somewhere and get get down pat what it is you want to learn. So if you want to start in that meditation area, just to make sure I'm bringing it back down so people can know where to start. You want to start in that meditation area, you want to start in that hypnosis area. You got certified, but you had to start studying where to get certified and start studying what direction you want to go with that. Can you really quick for a sidebar, because I just want to make sure everyone knows, the young lady wanted to have a shaman. So what is a shaman? What is that?
So there's different types of shamans based on, not to make this long either, but
Right.
based on geographical areas, there are actually different shamans. There are cultures that shamans are by birth.
Mm-hmm.
There are also cultures that there are individuals that are trained, that can be trained with an innate ability that's born within them to help others. Okay. Now, this could be through like if you go to, and I think it's South America, there is a lot of resorts that will do shamanism, and they will give you, I'm not using the correct term, I know it, but they're not psychedelic herbs, but they're kind of herbs that kind of get you into that theta brainwave frequency, which is meditation. Okay.
Okay.
And it's a healing. It's a purpose of healing, but it is a purpose of pointing to your subconscious mind what your purpose is on this planet. And a lot of people will swear, that's a path someone wants to try. They will swear that it was so mind blowing that they walked away knowing exactly what they were supposed to do. Now, it's a bit of, for some, a bit of extreme experience.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are not into that. Some people are. Some people believe they need to be. Some people believe that they need that shock in their world. Okay.
Right.
But if it is something that their interest is, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different types of of shamanism. Start doing your research. But once again, it's a tool, just like meditation, to point you in the right direction. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. So the shaman is that person that basically can lead you in certain direction in reference to different retreats, and just make sure I'm following different retreats where they can teach, they actually teach you the meditation tactics through different herbs and different outlets to follow.
Yeah, like they'll do drumming.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so when you, so from a scientific perspective, if you are meditating, ideally your end goal, actually you should have no goal, but your goal is to get into theta brainwave frequencies. So like when you sleep, you're in delta.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You and I talking, we're in beta.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get the brain to train to go into theta. All right.
Okay. Right.
If you take a beat, like just a song, a music, and you do 100 beats in 60 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
the brain will go into theta. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So shamans do something similar. They do drumming, they do singing, they do chanting, they'll do dances, they'll have the sweat huts. I'm saying there's a lot of different tools they'll use, but they're getting you into that brainwave frequency, just like meditation, of theta, all right, or like your subconscious for hypnosis, okay, so that you get the information you need for your life,
Okay.
your
Okay.
journey.
Wow, this man, guys, I hope you guys, my mind is like going. My mind is steering up. Like, I want to get done with this and start doing more research on it because this is so interesting. It's so interesting. Again, going back to what you said at the very, very beginning, reprogramming yourself. You can do that. You don't, I'm really big on going to conferences and learning from other people. I love mining and getting gold from other people, and I take those little bits and pieces from other people, but I put them in my little pocket here, and I'll take from them and I'll learn from them. But essentially, I'm still creating my own mindset behind it. I'm developing my own understanding behind what I'm trying to do. So this is really interesting to me. This is really mind blowing. I know we already said it, but kind of going to the next question, entrance point. So the first entrance point is education. Are there any other entrance points that someone would need to have to get into any of these fields? Meditation, life hacking, life coaching, shamanism, uh, uh, any other type of coaching? Are there any other entrance fields or entrance points that you can point out, maybe one or two?
So yes, so if you start, like a good point is the internet. If you're interested in shamanism and you start researching it, like I said, there are multiple, based on geographical areas, there's different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
So start to find what resonates with you.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation is, every industry now is getting their hands in meditation, science, medicine, psychology, because the studies are just, like I said, dumbfounding. They're so overwhelming what they're finding. Okay. In fact, to add a little on that, the Guinness Book record, the gentleman that holds the Guinness Book record for the happiest man in the world.
Oh, wow.
Is, I believe he's a biologist or a physicist. He's a Frenchman. Okay. You can Google him.
Uh-huh.
And he is now a Buddhist monk. Okay. But the reason he is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the happiest man in the world is he holds the highest and longest record of gamma brainwave frequencies. Now, gamma brainwave frequencies are even further beyond the theta. Okay. And he does this, to answer your question, he does this by focusing on one thing. And I believe his name is Matthew Ricard, Ricard. I'm probably killing that a little too. But anyways, he has his own website, Facebook page, everything. Okay. He's a Buddhist monk. But what is so amazing on how the brain works, his only tool is he focuses on one thing, and it's compassion. Now, when he focuses on compassion and they do a functional MRI or EEG on his brain, okay, he actually lights up not only the gamma brainwave frequency, which is dumbfounding to them, but he lights up 8 areas of his brain at once. Nobody does this.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, so that just tells you what, by learning the brain, and it's a muscle, it's a tool to
It
learn
is.
how to
Yeah.
train. The sky's the limit, literally the sky. So that's a good entrance point. It is researching online what moves you, what draws you from the heart, what feels good to you. If something makes you uncomfortable, but you feel you need to do it, maybe it's one of those things that you've got to get beyond the fear. Do you know what I'm saying? But then there's also things where I'm just not ready for that. Then you know
Right.
what? You're just not ready for that. You may be, a one quick example is I have read books 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And the books I read 20 years ago, I saw through eyes of that person 20 years ago.
Mhm.
Now, today, I can read the same book, the
Yeah.
same word from a different set of eyes and go, oh my gosh, I didn't get 90% of this 20 years ago.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
When
That's
you're
why.
ready for it,
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, when you're ready for it, it will be there for you. If you open yourself up to knowledge and learning. So I would, again, research, ask people, put it out there. If you feel that you need a formal, PhD, then you need a formal PhD. Seriously. Okay. If you believe, whatever you believe, you are 100% right. So if a client comes and says, I need a shaman to heal me, you're 100% right. Let's go that path. But then
Wow.
as we started going that path in her example, she was like, wow, that was a limitation I set up in my own mind. Touche, you just made a major step in your life.
Mhm.
So people, you learn from your fears, you learn from the steps you take, wrong or right, they're all needed. Sorry to
Wow.
go off another tangent.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. We're wrapping up, guys. So I just want to elaborate on one point you just said, because I could talk on for the next hour on this, but you just said it. You just said, whatever you believe, you are 100% right. Silence
You
on that
are.
one. Silence
So
on that one. Yeah.
if you're coaching someone, you cannot, and this is from my own hard knocks and from my heart, you cannot set your standards for your client.
Nope.
Your client has their own beliefs,
Yep.
their own reality, and
Yep.
their own journey. And
Yes.
so you have to put yourself in their shoes
Mm-hmm.
so you can point to them as a third party. There's a sign here you need to be reading. Or maybe that hiccup you had was a lesson to be learned so that they can go down their path easier and faster and more efficiently. Okay. But when you start setting your own agenda or your own perceptions or your own beliefs on your client, all you're going to do is hinder their growth.
Yep. And as a coach, you should not be doing that anyway.
That is correct. That is
So
correct.
let's go. This has been jam packed, guys. We're wrapping up. So let's go into our last question. The fun fact. If you guys follow me on my Facebook group, the Learning Association, you know that I love fun facts. So tell everyone in the world, Cres, because this is going to be worldwide, international. So what's a fun fact about Cres? What's one thing the world does not know about Cres Lake?
Well, I have tons and tons of hobbies. And what I shared with you, Marla, when we first started, I'm not going to use. In fact, based on our conversation, I'm going to use something else. So
Okay.
I am, like yourself, a lifetime avid student, and I love learning new things.
Yes.
And as I learn new things, it opens more doors for new things to learn. So
Mm-hmm.
something that most people don't know that I am deeply digging into is quantum mechanics and quantum physics.
Hmm.
Okay? Very
Interesting.
interesting. And everything, if you do your own research, everything that we just discussed, science is now finding to be true.
Mm.
So that's where my studies have taken me. So I will leave you with that because a lot of people will say, well, what's quantum physics? What's quantum mechanics? Guess what? Go research. You will be just dazed.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is what a coach tells you. We don't give you the answers. We don't tell you what to do. We just say, hey, go research it and figure it out. No, we just guide you, and that's beautiful. Quantum physics. So I am going to go look it up. Quantum mechanics. So, and I'll just say this, then we'll wrap up. I want to get people to not only create their careers, but get into a field or learn something that scares you. You know, like with myself, math scares me. I don't like math, but I am going to, because of my degree, but I am going to take some time and watch some YouTube videos and study it and learn it, because it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to let it scare me, you know? So don't let anything scare you guys. We can walk away with so much. So really, Cres, really quick, tell the world how they can get in contact with you, websites, you know, Facebook groups or anything. Tell the world how they can get in contact with you. And then also I'm going to have these links down in the caption down at the bottom. Go ahead, but tell the world how they can get in contact with you.
Feel free to email me. I'm cres.lake@aol.com. The email kind of tells you how long I've been doing this. My contact number is 713-550-0935. If I don't answer right away, I'll get back to you as quick as I can. You can also reach out to me on Facebook. I'm on Cres Lake Facebook. I also have several meditation groups. One is Katie Flow, Katy Flow, Flow. That's on Facebook. And then Uwe, which is a type of meditation. It's spelled Wuwei. I'll give you all this. Also, too, I have a couple of meetup groups in the local area, and we meet regularly to meditate. When you meditate with others, you're with like-minded people. You can learn new skills, learn new meditations, and it is a wonderful feeling to share that experience with others.
Wow. Okay, so guys, you got it. She's going to email this all to me. I'm going to have it all in the caption for you, so you didn't have to write it down or rewind or anything like that. Of course, guys, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Creating Your Career with Marla J. Williams. I'm actually in the process of rebranding and changing, going back to my maiden name. So it will be Creating Your Career with Marla J. Alberti. So super excited about that. So guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Cres. Follow us. Get in contact with us. You know my contact information is contact@truthspeakscoaching.com. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns. Even if you want to get emailed, or interviewed on how and talk about how you can create your career. We're super excited, guys. Thank you, and have a great day, guys. Bye-bye to episode number 4. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.